Right, hello. It's January 21st. This time last week the garden was covered in snow, a good 2 inches. All gone now, and this week we've got temperatures double figures during the day, sort of between 10 and 11, and sort of lows of 6 or 7 at night. So things are starting to stir. But I thought while the weather was reasonable, we'll do a greenhouse tour. I mean, you have to excuse the mess. I've just been potting up some dahlias and some eucomis, which are in the conservatory at the moment. And I've just pulled out my 2 Insette bananas, which have been in the conservatory unheated all winter. It gets down to maybe 4 or 5 degrees at the worst. They're all solid, so I'm going to pot them up and get them in the greenhouse in a minute. But I said we'll do a greenhouse tour, so we will. This is my greenhouse. It is approximately 10 foot wide, 5.5 foot deep, so it's not huge, but it does the job. It's all made out of double glazed windows and a door that I got for dirt cheap off Facebook. So that's been up for 2 years now. Polycarbonate roof, fully insulated at the back. Got a little vent at the front which is covered over at the moment. So let's go in and have a look. So inside, let's have a look at the current temperature is approaching 18 degrees. Thermostat kicks in at 9 and cuts out at 11. And this 2 kilowatt heater, which I've got it on half pass as 1 kilowatt. But to be fair, that very rarely kicks in, only on the frosty nights, because this is so well insulated. And of course when the sun comes out it heats up quite nicely. So as I come in the door to the shelf on my left, I've just gone through the tubs here with colocaceas. I mean, some I just left growing and they've sort of they haven't really died back, but they've just gone dormant. And some this one, the leaves rotted, so I just pulled it back to the green. And a couple of the bulbs in this one, corms, I'll just give them a bit of water because they've been dry all winter, and they're on the sunny window there, so hopefully with the temperatures coming up they'll start to come back into life. So behind them, Triphanix campestris, which is a hardy palm, but I've got it in a pot at the moment, so that's overwintered in here. And now I've got a couple of small Phoenix canariensis which I grew from seed. They're actually coming up to 2 years old, so not the fastest growing. They should be sturdy little plants. I've got a lot of filibusters spread out throughout the greenhouse. I've got a cluster of maybe 10 here. I've got a sable minor there. It's starting to push out a new leaf. That's going to go in the ground come the spring. Got some variegated ginger, which is still pushing all winter. That's been steadily growing. We've got a standard bird of paradise there, which is the orange flower. Brugmansia, I've got, let me see if I can find there should be a sticker on here somewhere. Right at the back. Serenero Rippens, which is the Saw Palmetto, that's a silver form. And got a couple more little canary dates in pots there, grown from seed. Got dwarf bananas here. Not too concerned about these. The main plant has died off, but there's a couple of pups. Again, I think that one's pretty much dried up, but this has still got life, so as soon as that warm up, there's another pup coming up there. As soon as that warm up, they'll kick back into life. Yeah, just over here we've got a couple of little agaves that I took off the big, don't know if you can see it through the window underneath the shelter there. Got a couple of big agaves there, so I've took some pups off them. That's the variegated one, and a couple of little other cactus cuttings there, and a couple of little cactus I grew from seed. They're actually about 3 years old, so they're very, very slow. Little spider plant, just one I took off the plant off indoors just to see if it had overwinter okay. That's been fine. Got a couple of pots of cannas here which are starting to stir, as is. I've got several pots on the floor here which are starting to push out. I think that's I think they're pretty much all Canna musifolia, banana canna, big leaves. Cast iron plant there. Got a couple of pots at the back there which got elephant ears in, which will kick in shortly, but there's also a random Trepicarpus seed must have got in there and that's sprouted. Right at the back here, past that is a queen palm, mountain form, quite hardy. Probably not at that size outside, but that's pushed out a new spear over the winter, so that's surprising. Right, so we're here in the middle, back shelf. I've got a couple of giant bird of paradise, which is Strelitsa Nicolai, the white bird of paradise. There's some that I grew from seed 3-4 years ago, and they're probably about 3 foot now, but I've got one indoors which stays in the conservatory all summer. Well, these two have been outside, and the one in the conservatory, which is in our front room at the moment, is well over 6 to 7 foot. Small Insete red banana there, quite small, so I potted it up and left it in here. Feels quite dry but solid in the middle, and it's actually, that has got a new leaf pushing out. Through lily bulbs, which I just give a drink to, and hopefully they'll start kicking in soon. I've got several Musabashi which I dug out of my centre bed in the garden, which I'm going to move somewhere else. There's a 3 footer there and a couple of 4 footers. Yes, it is an iron board stand there, just to give me a bit of extra something sturdy to put some plots on. These 2 palms here are quite rare ones. Don't know if you can see it, it's upside down. Let's pull it out. Is that gonna, yeah. I'm not gonna try and pronounce it. It's the Nakuru palm, which is a New Zealand palm. It is a crown shafted palm, but quite cold hardy. So they're quite small at the moment. There's 2 there, but I may in a few years time to give it bigger, try them in the garden, and if it gets really cold I'll give them some protection. But that'll be an interesting one to try. At the back here I've got a couple of Kentia palms. I've got several indoors. I thought I'd try a couple out in a greenhouse over winter. They seem to be absolutely fine, untouched by the cold. Another Alocasia Sumo, kept all its leaves, absolutely fine. I've actually got another one on the shelf here which I had to cut the leaves off, but there's a couple of pups coming from it. I'm sure that'll kick back into growth pretty soon. So come along here, I've got this is one I grew from seed 2 years ago, and they just grow so quick, these bananas. This is a green form of the I don't know if it's a Heniba or an Encidium, but it's the green form. Quite nice, sort of shorter, stouter, really wide leaves, nice. Couple of little lemon trees that start from seeds from a lemon from the supermarket. Some sort of succulent there. Several edible date palms which I grew from seed last year. So we've got several community pots there. Some at the back there. And then coming around this side, these are all the filibusters again. Some, I mean, some are quite big now. They're only literally probably about a year old exactly. And considering they've been in this cool greenhouse, it's heated but it's not hot. I don't get too much sun in the winter, to be fair, so it never really heats up. It just stays around sort of 10 or 12 degrees. But yeah, they're not looking brilliant, but they're alive, and as soon as the warm weather will kick in, they will grow. Couple more dwarf bananas here, again dried up. They don't like the cooler conditions, but they're still alive, so there's green leaves there, so I'm sure they'll kick back into life when the time comes. So that's nearly all we've got. We've got some bromeliads at the back, some sort of split philodendron leaf tree form, I believe. Absolutely fine. This is a tragedy. This is my let me pick it up. This is the Brahea Super Silver, which I repotted and must have killed it. The roots are so fragile. I was really careful how I potted that up, and within 2 weeks of potting it up, all the leaves died. The stem is soft, but I can't bring myself to throw it out yet. So getting towards the back here, you won't see it, but there's a big cast iron plant at the back there. Fast growing tree fern, I think it's a Cyathea cooperi. I've let it go a little bit dry, so it's looking a little bit crispy at the moment, but that'll put out a new flush as soon as I'll give it a good drink and get it out in the garden again. And then I've got a couple of big, these are my tropical pots that go around the hot tub in the summer, and these have got Canna Tropicana and Tropicana Gold, and we've got some Alocasia macrorrhiza, I think, which again, you know, doesn't like the cold, but it hasn't died. And there's another leaf on the other pot there. So yeah, that's about it for the greenhouse. It's actually quite warm, 18 degrees. The sun went in about an hour ago, but like I say, it's so well insulated that it just holds the heat for hours. So that is the greenhouse. Yeah, you may have spotted this is a little homemade greenhouse which I originally had here. It's made out of clear perspex, really thin, but there's the cordylines seeds from last year and a few cuttings and various bits in there. Right, so maybe next week we'll see what's popping up in the garden. For now, thanks for watching. That was my DIY greenhouse tool.